Police are refusing to file a missing persons report for my homeless, drug-addicted, and mentally ill sister. My sister has been missing since June 9th. Despite being homeless, she always remains in contact with my family so she can visit her children. My mother found it unusual that she hasn't reached out and searched many jail rosters to ensure she wasn't locked up recently. She is not in any jail in Washington, Oregon, or Idaho despite having warrants locally and being prone to run-ins with the police. Yesterday, we contacted her friend and main source of drugs and received a very scary reply. The night she was last seen by my mother, she visited this friend and was acting more strange than normal. She refused to party with them like normal. She talked to herself and refused to answer or acknowledge direct questions. She ranted to them about completely random topics. She has schizophrenic tendencies and meth exacerbates this greatly. She was turned out of this drug house in the wee hours of the morning with virtually nothing. No phone, no place to go, no food, etc. Her friend asked to get her stuff, and she refused and only requested a pen and paper. This is obviously highly concerning. She went completely missing from the local homeless spots after this too, which scared her friend as they would always see each other in passing even if they weren't in regular contact. My mother has tried filing a missing persons reports with 2 different police departments with no success. They say as an adult she has a right to go missing. She has been transient for 2 years now and has never ever completely disappeared, especially not from her only reliable source of drugs. We strongly believe she might have made a life-ending attempt or had something malicious happen to her. She is known for being open to doing drugs with total strangers off the street. The missing persons report is very important to us. We cannot put her in the NAMIS database without a case number, which would help us if her unidentified remains appeared anywhere. And we cannot post to several local Facebook groups either as they require a case number to avoid abuse from stalkers. We want to be able to do more than what we are doing now, which is posters, sharing Facebook posts, checking all nearby jail rosters including state lookups, driving to places looking for her, often and exhaustively. She is definitely not still in town, and trying but not succeeding to gain possible information from local hospitals. My mom is her emergency contact anyway, but maybe she is a Jane Doe. Is there anything I can do to file a missing persons report without the support of local departments? Thank you. Update. Thank you to all the commenters on my original post and for all the people who messaged me with advice. Update. Thank you to all the commenters on my original post and for all the people who messaged me with advice. We recently celebrated a year clean for my sister, which reminded me to update you all. We never did manage to get the missing person report filed because a lot of things happened quickly after I posted. We reached out to the media, and they started running local news stories for my sister. That helped us get tips from the public which revealed where she was. What happened was my sister was taken by crisis response, which has happened before. But instead of being taken to a local detox center, she was transported to one a few hours away due to capacity issues. Instead of being informed of this through official channels, we were tipped off by an anonymous person who saw the news report. Apparently, my sister's record at the crisis response did not have any of us listed as emergency contacts, which is why my mother was unable to get any information from them when she called. I'm unsure of why they weren't able to inform us of her being transported, but I am glad someone reached out despite those barriers. It didn't end there though. The new facility she was taken to apparently moved her to a hospital that was literally on the other side of the state after she became violent with one of their staff. My mom and I drove 10 hours round trip to get her. She had been at the new location for 3 weeks and was stabilized with antipsychotics, but still was extremely paranoid. When my mom called and asked to speak to her, my sister hung up after hearing her speak. Then I called her and she actually stayed on the line. She was very paranoid that people were out to get her and thought the last call sounded weird and like an imposter. She was relieved to hear from us though and was afraid of contacting us for fear these people after her would hurt us. Something along those lines. I think she didn't really break out of this delusion until she read about herself being missing. It also helped to see us in person instead of over the phone because the phone is a major trigger for her paranoia. We were able to take her home and she was discharged with medication and a 90-day follow-up plan. I also skipped over some drama with the hospital where they were telling us they already had her ready to be discharged and bused to the nearest metro area and dropped off downtown. We basically had to fight with them to keep her the extra hours while we drove to get her. Just a complete crap show and demonstrated to me how people can dehumanize homeless people and sabotage their efforts to recover. It took several more months in modifying her meds to finally see the sister I once knew. It really freaked me out how she basically acted like a zombie for those first few months, because she's always been a gregarious person. She was put on lithium initially as a short-term solution, and that really affected her personality during this time. She's been living in our family home since she got back. Her kids are bonding with her once again, though there's a lot of distrust from her oldest. She doesn't blame him though, she was very young when she had him. Anyways, I'll stop writing now because I could go on forever. Thanks once again for helping me find my sister in more ways than one.